Scoopy Radio here with my main man. You standing like Geoffrey.
Yo. He's still in me, man. Geoffrey's in me. But today, I gotta be honest, it's just an honor to be here to support an important cause. You know what I mean? And I'm a beginner, at golf. So, if you got any tips,
I don't play.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I got some questions for you.
Okay.
So I grew up watching Bel-Air, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air religiously. Related to it, did a thesis on it in college where I talked about the identity of black men from a cultural studies perspective.
Oh, wow.
And for me, looking at the character of Geoffrey was more than just a butler. He was security, he was style coordinator, he was therapist. Why do you think that was so integral in the making of this iteration of Bel-Air to be different than the original Geoffrey?
First of all, I want to thank you just in terms of how deep you got into, looking into the DNA of the show and how it's made. That moves my heart. For me, it was integral. It was so important for us to show black families and black excellence in a different way. You know what I mean? I think our show occupies a very important space in TV right now. And when it comes to Geoffrey, we talked about we didn't want to show black help. You know what I mean? We wanted to show brotherhood, brothership, and them as equals. So what I love is that you get to represent that in TV, but also I think you've seen it over the last 4 or 5 years, black men and vulnerability. Do you know what I'm saying? If you check season 1 when Uncle Phil and Geoffrey had an argument, it wasn't like, they're going to fight each other and, being that stereotypical aggressive black men, that stereotype on TV. It was actually heartbreak. It was actually vulnerability is a strength, and I say that because you look at Busta Rhymes, Tyrese, and a lot of our legends right now are expressing that, and that we're not allowed to show that, and I'm really proud that through our show we are doing that.
How much did you actually potentially talk with Joseph Marcell, the original Geoffrey, in the making of this particular film?
Yeah, I spoke to Joseph. I knew him before I booked the job, so I spoke to him straight away, and I asked him some advice, and he said, one of the main things I remember, he said, enjoy being the black Brit on the show, and he said also just to do my thing, lean into it, have fun, visit different states across the US, and just on how important it is just to show the story of the Brit in LA. And when I got to work with him, it was a dream come true because, like yourself, I grew up watching the original, and so when Geoffrey got to meet Geoffrey, it was a dream come true.
You read my mind because I was going to ask you your point of entry. People talk about when did you fall in love with hip hop, when did you fall in love with basketball or whatever sport.
Yeah.
Who did you relate to on the Fresh Prince, the original series?
For me, I got to be honest with you, I related to Will. Like that, he really connected with me on such a deep level, and I think. I'm realizing now as I got older, he connected with me because he was like a fish out of water, right? He was from Philly, but he was in Bel-Air, he's not with his mom, he's with his aunt and uncle, and they're, a different class, like a wealthy family. And I grew up in foster care, and I didn't realize that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was based off of Benny Medina's life, and Benny Medina was adopted. So being in the show now, it's a full circle moment for me, in terms of I'm a young kid that went from foster care to Hollywood, and I realized that Bel-Air and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air are probably, it's the biggest care story in the world, about blended family. And as black people, I think we naturally do that, but also I think it's not celebrated enough.
Yeah, I think you answered all my questions.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Seriously.
Thank you.
And you're looking clean right now.
I knew I was going to see you.
I feel like if Geoffrey's going to turn up in New York, he's going to come with you, man. He's my guy.
Brother, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Keep shining.
I appreciate your words, man.
My man.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Bless.